Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. This is your weekly reading where we talk all about what's going on with the collective energy, the weekly energy, the energy that is impacting each and every one of us, and how we can make the most of it. So, we're going to be talking about what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're experiencing, how you can navigate this energy so that you can use it to your benefit. And we will break it all down at the end with some tarot cards. We're going to pull some cards and build upon the messages that we talk about. So this is a combination of channeled messages, astrology, and tarot. So have a seat, dig in, receive the messages, put this on in the background if you want to, however you want to experience this. But let's talk about what's going on with the energy. How are you guys feeling? What's been going on for you? I always love to hear from you in comments. Have you felt Mercury retrograde come to a close? Have you felt Mercury go direct? It went direct. What's today? I think it was yesterday. Today's a weird energy. I'm a little thrown off. I'm a little all over the place. So forgive me. But yeah, yesterday Mercury went direct. So we have been in Mercury retrograde for the past 3 weeks, where we have had all kinds of stuff come up for us, a lot of issues come up for us that we need to take a look at, a lot of things that we need to work on, a lot of things that we need to work on healing, issues with miscommunication, issues with travel, technology, all of these different things. So I'll be curious, how is Mercury retrograde showing up for you? But we've been in that. The week before that, we're closing out that eclipse portal. Before that, we were going through another eclipse, and it's just all been this intense energy that has made us feel like there's a lot transforming in our lives, but at the same time, we're feeling maybe a little bit more stuck, maybe more confused, maybe more disconnected from clarity, or not quite sure where we need to go. And part of what has been contributing to that as well has been Venus being in retrograde since, I believe it was March 1st. And so that's been in retrograde for a while now. Before that, we were in Mars retrograde for a long time. And these retrogrades really serve to slow us down, to have us reflect, to take a look at what we need to adjust, where we need to have things be different. But before we get to the clarity, we have to do and allow the work and the process. And so we've been very much in that energy. So I'm sharing all of this with you because now that Mercury has gone direct, we are preparing on the at some point this week. So the 12th, which is Saturday. So on Saturday, on the 12th, in this week, Venus will be going direct as well. So Venus will be coming out of retrograde. So what does that mean? I think that we're going to find that we're connecting with clarity, that we are coming out of this confusion and this cloudiness and starting to make sense of things. And I think that process is starting to happen now and has been happening, but I think that we're going to find that we're doing a lot of that this week. So this is doing a lot of reflection on what it is that we've been experiencing over the course of the past few months. Maybe we're needing to allow ourselves to feel it, to heal it as we're navigating some changes that have come up through this transformation, or maybe we're looking at things from different perspectives and we're understanding things from different perspectives, or maybe we still are in that place where we have these thoughts in our mind where we're just kind of reflecting on it and trying to figure out, what do I do with this? Or what does this mean? Or where do I go with this? So I say all of that to say that you may find that you're still in this place of a bit of confusion, a bit of trying to make sense of things. And if we're keeping it real, like, you're never going to have all of the answers anyway, right? But you may find by the time that we're getting toward the end of this week and certainly into next week that you have more answers and more clarity and more momentum, because that is just going to feel like it's setting us free in a different way. that we've been kind of held back. And so the image, when I went to meditate on this, the image that I got was a dog being on a leash. And so I think in a lot of ways we felt leashed and like we're having to navigate a specific path, and the universe was holding the leash, right? And through this process, we've been in a training process. We've been learning a lot of things. And so my sense of this energy, based on this vision that I had, is that on the other side of this Venus retrograde, we get set free from the leash. And that can be a good thing or that can be a bad thing, depending on how you use it. So meaning you can use it and just go back to old ways and go back to how you were doing things that wasn't really serving you, that should have probably has been making itself very clear during these retrogrades. You could let yourself close yourself up where maybe you've been feeling this call, this pull to be more vulnerable. There's so many different ways that you could go backwards, but essentially you could go backwards. You could prevent yourself from using this energy for what it's good for, and that's to elevate you. That's to move you to the next level, to take you into the next chapter, and you could just keep on repeating things all over the place. Wow, like it's nice to see so many of you here live. Hi Meg, hi Lance, hi Barbara. So we can do that, right? When we're let off the leash, or we can continue down the path that we've already started moving down in a way that feels more free, in a way that feels like we are working more powerfully on our life path, right? That God is handing over some of the reins of that and saying, here you go. What are you going to do with this? I've given you all of this wisdom. I've given you all of this understanding. I've brought blessings into your experience. I've introduced you to the people that I want you to connect with and meet. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep your heart open? Are you going to move forward with that? Or are you going to close it? Are you going to make the changes and continue with the changes? Or are you going to go backwards? So I think that we have choices here. But here's the thing. Through this process, we have learned how to do something and how to be something better. You are better now. And so what you're being invited to do is to do better for yourself. Because you know better now, it's time to do better for yourself. And that, I believe, is what I called this video. So I'm going to say it one more time because it's really important. You know better now, so it's time for you to do better for yourself. And again, you might not be quite clear what that looks like, but I think as the week progresses, that will become more clear. And I think that we need to be asking a lot of questions. Over the course of the past few months, what have I been learning? What have I been learning about myself? What have I been learning about the people in my world? What have I been learning about what I want, what I don't want? What have I been learning about the way that the world works, about where I'm at, what I need to change? What have I been shown? Because this energy has been showing us a lot. Hi, Donna. Nice to see you here. So what have I been shown? What am I seeing much more clearly now? And I do feel like we're being invited to take action or to speak our truth in regard to the things that we've been shown, to ask for what we need. That was something that I wrote down that came through loud and clear. Ask for what you need. And I think that this is an important time for us to do that. Hi, Marcia. Nice to see you here. So what have I been shown? And then asking for what we need. What do I need right now? And can I ask for that? And now that Mercury has come out of retrograde, it's going to be a lot easier for us to communicate with one another. And that's not going to feel so blocked or misunderstood. What do I need to act on? Because when these retrogrades come to a close, you're going to find that the pace is going to pick up. Things have been happening, things have been developing, but now we're going to see it pick up. We're going to see it develop. We're going to see it move. So pay attention to that specifically. What do I need to act on? What do I need to take to the next level? What do I need to lean into? We've been talking about what do I need to lean into for months and months and months. So now we're going to be called and invited to lean in on a higher level, on a deeper level, in a more meaningful way, or to lean in to take something to that next level. So what am I feeling called to act on in this new chapter that I'm now in? Also, because it's been Venus retrograde, what have I learned about relationships? What have I learned about how I need to do better, what I need to be doing differently, what I want, what I don't want, what works for me, what doesn't work for me? What have I learned about my relationship with money, and where are there changes that I've had to make or need to be making? And I think that this is a really beautiful time for us to be taking action on those things, whether we're ending some things, whether we're leaning into new beginnings, or we're taking things to the next level, or we're changing up habits, whatever that looks like. But Venus is very connected with love and money for sure. This week as well, it's a very enlightening, empowering week. And I think that you're going to find that if you haven't been shown what you need to see, that you will. And I feel like specifically being shown from other people. So let them show you, right? People can say what they want all the time and they can paint a really pretty picture. But if you're not seeing the actions to back that up, then that's a problem. So let them show you through their actions. What are their actions showing you? And Marsha is saying, what if I feel I'm on a journey I did not plan and I don't want? I understand. Sometimes this energy, especially eclipses, will take us down a path that we're like, how did I get here? I don't know. I don't know where I am. I think part of what we're learning is how to surrender, how to flow on a more powerful level. I've had 3 sessions today that we talked all about surrender and flow, where people have found themselves mastering that on a new level. And I think that's still that I think that's what we're being shown and where we're being guided. And so we're learning how to do that, even if it's a path that we're like, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if this is the direction that I want to go. And if you're moving in a direction where it just doesn't feel aligned, that's something different, right? Then you ask, are there different steps that I need to be taking? But if it does feel like this is where you're being led, this is what you're being shown, then I think we're being encouraged and invited to lean into that and to set aside the vision that we had for ourselves or the direction that we expected that to go, and instead saying, God, universe, whatever that is for you, take the reins and show me what this path is meant to look like. You might even surprise yourself, because I do really feel like we do know better now. So you might be taking a look at something and feel like, I don't really like that, but I also do know better now. And I do know that this is really aligning more for me. Renee is saying that she had to set some serious boundaries and that there was a lot of miscommunications, learning to listen and to hear people out better. Yeah, this is part of what you've learned. We've all been to school the past few weeks or few months. And we always are. I mean, Earth is just one big school, but we've really been learning a lot and developing. So I'm glad, Renee, that you're learning, and I'm glad that you're allowing this to teach you and to show you. So if we let it teach us, if we let it show us, if we kind of can lean in and trust the process, then we're good. Because also when you talk about being in flow will always also lead you to the actions that you need to take. So flow isn't just, okay, I'm just going to not be intentional about my life. I'm not going to take action. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to let life serve me, whatever it's going to serve me. That's not the way that it works. I think that flow is going where the current is going, but it's also setting intentions, and it's also paying attention to where you're feeling inspired to take action on things. So what actions are you feeling inspired to take, especially as we get to the full moon on the 12th and Venus coming out of retrograde on the 12th? Both of those are happening the same day. There's going to be a lot of clarity at that time, and you're going to have a lot that's coming to the surface. Now, around the full moon, you may find that you're taking a look at, because it's in Libra, where am I and where am I not getting reciprocity in my life? Where do I feel like the things I'm investing in are investing in me equally? And that's really going to shine a light on that. And we might need to make some changes. We might need to make some adjustments around that. So where are you being guided to make adjustments? Where are you being guided to take action, and paying attention to all of that? Because that is part of flow. It's also going to highlight for us what is out of balance in our life. How are we feeling out of balance? Marsha's saying, thank you. I definitely don't like this direction, but I can't change it. Okay. So you lean in, you set your intentions for where this path is going next, and then you pay attention to the direction that is leading you. And I'm sending you so much light, because that's easy for me to say, and I understand that that's not always the easiest thing to do. So that can certainly be challenging. And we're going to pull some cards to build upon these messages. Ace of Pentacles. I will pull all the cards and then I will read them afterwards. Wow, they are like ready right now. Hold on. Okay. I love this. Okay. 2 of Cups, 6 of Cups in reverse. I was saying last week that it's like one last look back. So maybe we're still reflecting back a bit, especially in regard to relationships, or how we would have liked to handle situations better, or healing old stuff, or being brought back into old triggers, or even how we would have preferred to handle finances in a different way. Maybe like you've been reflecting on that and taking a look at that, because you can use that information to go forward, right? If you're not learning from your experiences, what are you even doing? Oh, 5 of Wands, 4 of Swords. We will explain all of these. So these become Temperance, a gift. Oh, another card wants to come out. Okay. King of Swords. That makes sense. That's the theme card. Okay. So King of Swords. The clarity that you're seeking is also seeking you, right? It's going to come into your experience, and you're being invited to use that clarity to take action, especially as we get further out, especially as we lean into next week. It's time to go, right? I went to this growth summit thing and had some really incredible conversations with people. I always find like I get more out of the conversations that I have outside of that. And some of you know who you are, but these conversations that I had that really sparked and inspired me to try some different things. And I came home and I applied it right away. Like, and there's your sound response if you can hear that. So I would say a sound response comes in during readings as a way to place an exclamation point on what I just said. So when you have your clarity, take action on it, move forward fearlessly, right? The King of Swords, he is fearless. He is willing. He's like, I know what I need to do, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to follow through with it. And the time is now to follow through with that as soon as you have an awareness of that. So I think that that's really key and important. Hi, Meg. So next card that we have, or the first card that we have, is the Ace of Pentacles. Blessings upon blessings upon blessings is what I feel like. I feel like it's like we're recognizing blessings that we have and building on that. Like, how do we want to, I get this energy of what seeds do we want to be watering, right? And recognizing the things that we have and the blessings that have already started to come into our lives, and what do we want to invest in and what do we not want to invest in, right? What do we want to allow to just come to a close? So I think that we're taking a look at that, but I think that we're building a really beautiful garden. I think we're going to start to recognize that and see how much progress we've truly made during this time, where you might not have as much concrete progress that you're aware of, but there is a lot of progress that's happening. And so how we move forward is, okay, now I'm clear on what seeds I want to water and fertilize. Now I'm clear how I want to proceed and what I want to be investing myself in, who I want to be investing myself in. And again, if that hasn't come yet, that will, but this is also an action. This is that willingness to lean into a new beginning. This is that willingness to plant the seed, to invest yourself, to start that relationship, to take that step in that direction of that job. But it's the basis for something. So that's key. Hi, Beth. Nice to see you here. So then we have the Two of Cups. And this Two of Cups has been creeping on these readings a lot lately. And I don't think that that's by mistake, because I think some of this is about connecting on a deeper level with parts of ourselves that we didn't even know existed, and really expanding on our understanding of ourselves, what we need, what we want, who we are. And there's something about this that just feels like we're honoring that. We're listening to that. We are becoming our own healer and our own advocate and our own helper. And I feel that really strongly with this energy. And I think also that we're choosing to decide who and what gets to have space in our experience, gets to have space in our lives. And I think that some people have maybe shown up and shown that that's something that we want, and then some people haven't. And so we're assessing that and we're exploring that and deciding that when we move forward, that we want to move forward in a way that is with the best possible people that we can surround ourselves with. So it's almost like we've made room. We've cleared out a lot of the past. And now all of a sudden, here in this week, here in next week, we're finding ourselves really ready to move forward into the future without feeling so anchored down by the past. Because we know better now. And we're going to do better now. And part of doing better is surrounding ourselves with the people that really matter to us and the circumstances that really matter to us. And so I think that we're going to be moving forward with some important things. Six of Cups in reverse, because we've been focusing on putting the past in the past, leaving the past where it belongs. Looking back, I called last week's video something like one last look back. It's been one last look back, and we're doing that a little bit this week as well. Well, Venus is still in retrograde, but just tying up loose ends here. What else do I need to do? How do I need to tie up loose ends so that I'm free? I'm free to move forward in the way that feels best and right for me, so that the old stuff from the past doesn't have to impact my happiness in the future. It doesn't have to overshadow my happiness in the future. It doesn't have to overshadow my happiness in the present. So there's a lot of healing that's been taking place. And suddenly the past doesn't have the same impact and influence over us as it once did. Let this process happen. Five of Wands. We've been training for this. We've been preparing for this. There is a victory that is coming because you know better now. Through all of these experiences, you know better now. And because you know better now, your invitation is to do better now, is to not repeat the same way that you've been approaching things. It's been in your face. It's been clear. And so we want to pay attention to that and honor that. Four of Swords says to me that there's still some more reflection to do. Still some more connecting with ourselves, connecting with our soul, hearing ourselves, hearing what it is that our soul is wanting to tell us. Because a lot of times our ego will say, be afraid of that, run away from that. That's too big of a dream. You can't take it there, right? And it will tell us all kinds of bullshit. But I think when we take that time to really listen to our soul and we ask, what do I really want here? Who and what most aligns for me in my life? I think that we're doing that. And I think that asking all of those questions that I talked about earlier will help us to see that, to reflect back. What have I been learning? What have I been shown over the course of the past few months? Powerful, powerful stuff. And last but not least, we have the Temperance card. I feel like this is, because I oftentimes say that the Temperance is the alchemist of the tarot. And we are in this beautiful, beautiful space where we get to alchemize the experiences that we've had. So all of the pain, all of the struggle, all of the difficulty, we can let that continue to be struggle and pain and difficulty and to keep us small and fearful and stuck, or we can learn from it. We can let it be a lesson. We can let it teach us. We can let it show us where we need to go next. We can use it to help other people through the lessons that we've learned. We can let it show us where we're meant to go next. But we're taking something that was terrible and we're turning it into a blessing. We're turning it into a gift in some way. And I think that so many of you are doing that now. There are things that I have been through that are incredibly traumatic, but I can look at them and I can say, but that made me who I am. That allows me every single day to help people in the ways that I help them. It allows me to connect intuitively in the way that I don't think I would have been able to had I not had to learn how to tune in with myself a long, long, long time ago. How do you take the struggle? How do you take what you've learned, what you've uncovered in this process, and how do you turn it into gold? How do you make it better? How do you build your business with it? How do you provide yourself with a better opportunity or better opportunities from it? How do you use it to help you to be better in relationships or to have better relationships or to lean into something better? Because you've already had these experiences and the past does not have to dictate the future. So, I am buzzing. This is such a powerful energy. Let the rest take care of itself. I feel like there's a lot of small victories this week. I feel like there's a lot of justice being served. I feel like there's a lot of karma being served up on a platter. And so hopefully you've been focused on putting out good so that the platter that's being served to you is full of all kinds of goodies. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please say hello if you're watching this on the replay. If you guys haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button. It also helps if you share these videos, like these videos, comment on these videos, share it privately with a friend. If there's somebody that you feel like needs to hear these messages, tag them, however you feel called. All of it helps, and it helps for these messages to be delivered to all of the people who are meant to receive them. So thank you. Let me know how this resonated with you. Let me know over the course of the week. Feel free to comment how this is showing up for you. And I will see you guys next week with another video. Take care.